baby. Bring this energy. Bring this energy. Oh, I love that 2-0-T in there on the
Let's go!
Let's go! That Tails just did a sound check and none of us yelled, and there was a sound check and we just yelled. What is up, everybody? Welcome into a winner's lounge. My God, a double overtime winner's lounge. This series, man, it's just Nuggets Blazers. They play each other. It has to go all the way to the final buzzer. You have to get some double, triple, quadruple overtimes in there. You have to have some heroics. This series, man, I'm telling you, it is aging me, but holy hell is it fun when you win. This is like, it's like 2.5, 3 hours of torture with like an enormous payoff.
It's true. That's exactly what it is. This game was a spiritual successor of Game 3.
It really was. That was one of my
Game
points.
4 was an aberration. I don't ever want to talk about Game 4 ever again.
It happens, yeah.
Happy not to. Shout out
This
Gordon.
is the series, dude. Let's
Gordon
go.
Gordon, he's feeling it, man.
Let's go, dude.
This game honestly had so much. We were joking as we were getting ready for the show that I forgot what happened in the first half, and what happened in the first half was really memorable. Once I was reminded, it's like, oh yeah, there's like 8 books you could write about this game, and they all take on a different personality.
I don't
It's
wanna read
absolutely
those books,
insane.
man.
There's a lot of chapters I would skip, to be honest. A lot of chapters I wasn't too fond of. I'll introduce the panel real quick. The man with the boyish charm, Brendan Vogt.
It's so funny that we think of this stuff as fun, because right up until that was the best part of my week, it was horrible.
You could honestly, like, if you stopped somebody, even just 1 minute left in the second overtime and said, hey, are you having fun? It'd be like, I don't know yet.
Yeah.
Ask me in a minute.
Yeah.
Because I'm either having the best time of my life or the worst time, and I'm not sure yet until we get one more minute into this game. Over here, I've got the Brawny Man himself.
Dude, I had to do a little mop-up duty. You guys, for all of you guys' like nervous energy tears early on. This is the dude. Never doubt Nikola Jokic.
We were locked in
Man.
an embrace in double OT.
There's been a while since we've all like sort of hugged and held on to each
But listen,
other.
the
man.
Nuggets
It's been a
won
while.
that.
Felt
The
good.
Nuggets
Felt
won
real
that
good.
game no less than 4 times, and Dame
And
just
then
kept
lost it
willing them
three
back.
times,
Like
yeah.
the Blazers did not keep bringing them. That was just Dame versus the Nuggets.
It really was. But I mean, hell, man, you have to tip your hat to Dame.
Well,
I mean,
you
he's like the one guy,
absolutely
the one guy in the Blazers team that I absolutely love and adore. And it's like, and he went off tonight. Over here, representing Skyland, representing Hiawatha Davis, representing 33rd and Holly. It's a superstar dev.
Me and D-Line believed.
Yeah, right.
That
Look at him
entire
trying to,
time, man.
co-opt
You know,
the
we
belief.
believed.
Yeah.
And also, that was like the ultimate Nuggets game. We got to see Lillard go insane. We got to see the Nuggets win. We got to feel good. And then also, we got to turn over the channel and see the Lakers down huge.
Ooh,
what a night.
that
What a
does
big
feel
night.
good.
That part was nice.
That does feel really good, man. I didn't even know about that last part. I was
See?
so locked into
Look,
this
now
game.
you feel even
Dude,
better.
I do
Hey,
feel even better.
Do you guys want a
The
fun
vibes-
fact?
I do want a fun
The
fact.
Nuggets are the only team from the Final Four in the bubble right now to be up in their series or yet to be eliminated.
Hell yeah.
Just Denver.
It's kind of a small little impressive thing.
I think that it sounds like a nothing stat, but it's not. What we've seen this season is the fatigue catch up to everyone. It caught up to Jokic tonight, but the Denver Nuggets don't back down.
All right, I'm going to give you my first takeaway. Maybe you could say this about every time the Nuggets are in the playoffs, because let's be honest, they have 5 playoff series. 4 of those went to Game 7. Maybe this is just true of every Nuggets playoffs. I can't believe the NBA puts them on NBA TV and the Oxygen Network.
I know.
Doesn't make any sense that they are on
Adam.
these ones, because their games are always awesome.
Do you not understand that the greater NBA audience
I
does
do
not
understand.
like? They don't like basketball.
They don't like basketball at all. It's so true. They do not like
They're
basketball.
not into
Maybe
it,
it's because
dude.
they watched the refs work in the third quarter.
If you liked basketball, that's true. If you like basketball, then you got to be watching this. But
Yeah, it's true.
Nuggets Blazers, like Nuggets Jazz, we did this thing last year when the Nuggets Jazz series was going on. Where like, let's go through every game this team has played over the last 2 years. Banger, banger, banger. Like every single game was just incredible. If you do the same thing for Portland outside of Game 4, this last past Game 4,
Aberration, dude.
aberration.
I just told you I don't want to hear about that game
Doesn't
anymore.
count. I don't know why I brought it back up. But outside of that one, every time these two teams match up, there's incredible shot making.
Yes.
I mean, let's be honest, they're both bad defensively. But there's incredible shot making. There's animosity. There's bad blood.
Talk about shot making. Look
Oh,
at
man.
Kale
Yeah, right on cue.
showing
A little
off, dude.
shot
He's like
taking.
Dame Lillard from the logo.
We have apricot, plum, and pear. And you
Apricot,
guys have to guess which
plum.
one I
Does one of them have water?
No,
We got some new Rocky. I went to the
have-
store to get new Rocky because we were running low, and I made sure I only got stuff from Serbia.
So we need to know it's either apricot, plum, or pear. I bet it's going to taste like gasoline if I'm going to get it.
Unleaded.
That's very true. Should we get these out of the way? Just
Yeah,
so
I would
love
like,
to.
let's not
Just
wait,
settle
man.
my stomach.
I honestly almost took one halfway through that game just because I wasn't settled. But hey, hell of a game,
Hell of a crew, dude.
hell of a crew. The bar was popping tonight.
And Trailblazers. Your colors are mine now. Let's go.
What a weird thing to say. Givli.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that was apricot.
Mine was
No, pear. That was pear.
I had pear.
I honestly can't taste anything but the alcohol.
Kill, are we going to
portion
get an
of that.
answer? Or?
It was right. It was apricot.
It did taste like
It was
gasoline.
apricot. It was apricot.
I don't know. I don't know where else to start with this game, guys. I mean, it was a fantastic battle. We can start, I guess, chronologically and
let's
talk
start
about
at
how
the very
Denver.
beginning.
I mean, the thing that's swept under the fridge on this on this game was that the Nuggets were up 22 points.
Yes, they were.
22 points. They came out and just laid some haymakers, and Michael Porter Jr. in particular came out like, "Hey, all eyes are on me, spotlight on me," as I said today, and he's like, "I'm ready for it." Now, it's funny. We were joking during the game. Michael Porter at this very moment in time doesn't really have a bag. Doesn't really have moves that you're like, oh man, he really got him. But what he does have is 6'10" of height and a perfect jumper, and he just kept using that to his advantage to get shots up. But not just the first quarter, even down the stretch, I thought he stepped up in a big way.
Talking about stepping up, this was a game for Malone and Michael Porter Jr. where you got to see like some good decisions from Malone by getting Michael Porter Jr. going early, making sure that he got into like open sets, got to his spots. They force fed him the ball, and you can see that from the opening tip. He didn't score the first possession, but they made sure to try to get to him. So you got to see like Malone make smart decisions there. But then you got to see like the no decisions with the fouls, and Michael Porter Jr. waned until the end of the game. And then that's when Jokic made the smart decision by putting Michael Porter Jr. in a spot where he just read the defense. He hits the huge shot, and you have to tip your hat to Michael Porter Jr.
I love that was a Jokic to Porter icer, basically, what it was. I mean, game winner.
That's such a big shot for a young kid who's had his balls questioned for 3 days. His does he want to be here?
Right.
Is he about this?
Is he about it? 3 points last game.
That is a massive shot, and it was cash.
That's what I was going to say. You know what I liked about it?
Cash.
The moment he caught it, it was in. Some guys, you catch in that moment, and you can just see a little bit of shoulder tightness or a little bit of hesitation. He caught that one like, thank God it came to me. Game. And it was just beautiful to see. I'm so happy for Michael Porter. He still has more work to do. Like, this is by no means a definitive, here he is, like whatever, but this was an A+, in my opinion, not to get ahead of your grades here. This was an A+ response game to come back with 26 points on 13 shots. 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. And here's the thing about Michael Porter, man. I talked about his bag, and he has some work to do there. But here's what's so crazy about him. When he gets himself open, he's at the top 99th percentile in finishing it. It's just about learning how to get more shots, because even 13 tonight would have liked 25 shots from him, to be honest.
The greatest thing is that he was not taking all easy shots. He wasn't just waiting for it to be easy for him. He really took the game to Portland. Like, he was taking like the shots that he alone can make, because he's a physical phenom, and he like can just rise up and twist midway through. He doesn't just even square up, dude.
Right.
He just gets his shoulders set in the air and cashes it. Like, he
starts that shot with his knee like under the defender's groin.
He can do this. It's just all mental with this man. Like, he possesses every tool in the toolbox to be a completely dominant player. It's just up to him. And tonight you saw like that he went back, he looked in the mirror, and he was just like, I'm not going out like this. Michael Porter Jr., I'm so proud of you. I can't believe I didn't bet on you, but I'm so proud of you, my man.
And it's funny to say proud, because it can sound condescending. I know sometimes people don't like it when people talk about I'm proud of this or that, but it's not condescending. It's in a weird way. Like, we were proud of Jokic early on in his career to sort of like vault himself onto the stage and overcome obstacles and like silence all the doubters. We were proud of Jamal Murray last year to break out the way that he did, and then there was the game 6 this or that. And Michael Porter tonight, you feel that exact same way, where it's like, we've been caping for you all this time. People said trade him for Bradley Beal, trade him for James Harden, trade him for all these guys, and Denver fans are like, no, he's like our guy. You get to last game where there's 3 points, and it's like, hey, there's an ad playing. I think I can hear there, Kale. Yeah, sorry.
Kale's like, yeah, I noticed that. Thanks, Adam.
You heard it too? But no, tonight, that is like, it's a little mini moment. The job's not finished, but it is one where you're like, man, I'm proud. Because this is what I've been telling everybody. He's ready. He's about it.
And this is a game that Denver was able to tune into. Like, altitude, Kroenke stepped up. They lifted the blackout. So presumably,
they did the bare freaking minimum. I'm going to give them a little credit, but they did the bare minimum.
You're right, but all the same, like, Denver got to watch this. I saw the timeline. I saw people that don't watch basketball watching this game, and like, they saw the heart of this team. Like, they saw what we've been seeing for years, and like why we've bought in so hard. It's like, like, I'm not by trade just a basketball guy. I'm not 100 feet tall like Adam. I have other options in life. Like, I've chosen
no
basketball.
options. I have to do it.
Trust me, we
That's
know.
all I got.
We know. We know. We talk
There's
about
like
this all
some
the
bird
time.
shit in there, but no one else is as big.
nobody's into that
I could go birding like Adam too. But I'm just saying, like, this is
Great-
what I
great
saw
time for that.
out of
Great
this
time for
team.
that.
Like, Denver, this is your squad. Like, how could you not be so proud of this team? Like, they get punched in the mouth over and over and over, and all they do is respond.
And
all they do is step up.
Just to go with Michael Porter Jr., like he's had to go through so many different changes, and then he comes into a playoffs, and there's more changes that he has to make. And for him to go from 3 points last game and everyone against him and everyone questioning the type of player that he is, and then he comes into this game and he goes through the physicality, he goes through tough shot making, he goes through making easy shots, but also those contested shots that stays within himself.
Right.
And then he's not like a huge liability on the defensive end. Like, that was a huge game, and that's why you do have to be proud for with him, because he could have just like waned from the moment. He could have just not showed up because that's what others expected him to. But he came into the presser and he said, like, I'm gonna do better. I believe in myself. Like, it's gonna be
He is
okay.
like, people have hung
MPJ.
on like the words of his that they don't like, and there's been things that that they're whatever. But
Yeah, we've talked
but
about
there
the
are-
Nuggets every day.
Yeah, we
know.
do talk about it too much, to be honest. But I'm telling you, there is something too. Like, he also routinely calls himself out. Like,
Yep.
he's a guy that routinely, when he plays bad, he goes up to the mic and he's like, yeah, man, it's on me. I've got to be better. I've got to do this. And with the confidence, to your point of, he went in that presser this last time and was like, I will. Like, this next game, I will be better. And he delivered, man. Like,
He's been great. I think he's been great with the media. I know people remember like the quote from the playoffs last year outside of the market, but for those of us who speak to him every day, he says the right things. And then more often than not, he walks that walk shortly after. And, the other stuff you're still waiting for with him, it can be learned. It can happen over time. But tonight, like, are you about it? That was the question posed.
He's about it.
And he said, yeah. He said, yeah.
Dude, can we just like hang out? I don't want to talk for a little while. Is that cool?
dude, I honestly need like a
I
little
just wanna-
nap, a little
like, I
relax.
just want to feel. Yeah. I just want to feel this. Like, I don't want to talk about this. Like, we're selling it.
Lowers it. Lowers it. No, and this is why I want to make the point, like, why I do think it's okay. This has been a weird week for player-fan relations, and there's a lot of dynamics there.
Yeah.
But I do think one of the reasons I say like I like that it is a feeling, a sense of pride you have for him, is that like there is a cool connection that I don't want this to be lost. And I feel so many people when they go into their arguments, this is what they're trying to do is like break this barrier where it's like.
I love this point.
I'm being serious about
I know,
this. This
I
thing
love
about
this
the
point.
super teams. It's like, I'm not playing for Brooklyn. I'm playing for my team or this or that. It's like, man, they used to mean. We want it to mean something that you're representing a city in this fun, unimportant way, but also important way that brings people together. And that's why I say I have pride in Michael Porter, because I believe that like we all believed in him and he believed in himself and
He
delivered.
wears
That's just a cool
Denver
moment, man.
across the front of his jersey.
Yeah.
He did it while representing the city of Denver.
Yeah.
He did that for us. I don't care if he didn't do it for us. He did it for us, man.
And you get a whole bar full of people here.
this
Great
is why-
like cross section of Denver here.
This
just
is why
going
sports is the
absolutely
greatest. And you're
apeshit.
right. Like, we're in a weird place where the last couple of days we've been talking about the relationship of fans and players as it pertains
It's
to
bugging me. It's
behavior
bugging me, man, to be
in
honest.
the crowd. And it's like when you're reminded of just like the deep love and connection that you feel with these guys because you lend them your heart. You're like,
Right.
hey, bro, can you hold on to my heart for 3 hours?
Right.
And like sometimes
It's really
it
an
just-
unfair responsibility to levy on a
so
22-year-old to be like, hey, will you make my life complete? This hole I have in my soul, will you fill it with like 3-pointers? And
There's
blow
something
shots
innocent
here,
about it, though,
here.
right? I
There's
mean,
something very,
it's willful-
Oh, it can be. It can be. I mean,
willful naivete, though, right?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
this
for
thing
sure,
that
totally.
if we break it down layer by layer, is this relationship? I don't want to break it down. Let me feel it, and I hope they feel it too.
Yeah, sometimes I
absolutely.
try to explan sports to non-sports fans because
That's
I
not
come
gonna
from the
work.
world of art and design where like it's like one out of every, literally just me as a sports fan. And everyone's like, you get that line like, you're a millionaire, put the ball better. And then I'm like, you don't get it, man.
anything
like,
can be
this
reduced
thing is-
down to the dumbest form.
But this sports are so visceral.
Yeah.
If you allow yourself to just sort of like take it in, allow yourself a leap of faith, allow yourself to believe in something that is bigger than yourself, even though in a lot of ways it's much smaller than yourself.
it's much smaller.
And the consequences are zero, but
Nailed
like
it.
you just feel it. It it means everything. It hits parts of your brain that don't usually get exercised. We talk about all this all the time. Sports are important. So is betting on the Nuggets, right, Dev? Let's go.
Exactly.
How'd we do tonight, Dev?
Oh, we racked up.
Did we clean up?
You usually hit your bets when you take overs and it goes to double overtime. You usually hit those.
Every single time. It's kind of crazy. It's like there's got to be a correlation. There has to be
That
some type
can't
of
just be a
correlation.
coincidence.
Yeah, there's no way.
The score, I didn't even look at the score, to be
I don't
honest.
even-
Like,
I
I was
don't even
only
care the
looking at
score.
the score in terms of how much are you up or
Yes.
down. The
That's all
score
that
was
matters, yeah.
147 to 140 tonight.
Yo, what,
Pretty
isn't that
ridiculous.
the number one game of all time? Like 20 points
160
off.
or was it like
20
180?
points
Well, it
off
was
that.
180 or
I
something.
mean,
yeah.
Dame scored 89 points in the last 20 minutes, so
I
it
know.
feels
Yeah.
a little low.
I
My
know.
God, he
Again,
was
like
on fire.
if you're a young science student and you're curious about what the relativity of time means, watch the end of a basketball game in double overtime.
It's so true. I mean, I have so much respect for Damian Lillard. Like, in addition to just being a phenomenal leader and like by all accounts a phenomenal person and all of this stuff, and then you just watch him. Like, it's a cliche Dame time and a cliche that he comes because sometimes he doesn't always. Like, even the numbers
it was
are paired
fucking
up.
Dame time.
But my God, in the series, he
Man.
absolutely continues to show up, and it's honestly a joy to see in a Portland loss.
Yeah, totally.
It's also wild to see it from like just jumpers. He's just doing step backs. His feet are set every single time. He doesn't care
The
who's
one
in front of
dribble
him.
slide.
Dude, this
He's
is the
not
point, though.
trying to set guys up. He doesn't care who's out there. He's
That's
shooting the ball.
That's the point. Like we brought this up last time. Like at the end of the game, like Dame only like if he misses a jumper, like that's it. Like he's not going in. He tried to get Robert Covington involved. He bricks like those guys have just been standing around for
Right,
so long. Jokic
That is true. That's a
We
great
said I'll do it
point.
myself.
Jokic
Ooh,
is
I
in
like
the
this
paint.
contrast.
Jokic is in the paint. He finds an open MPJ. Like he finds an
Yeah,
open
this is a good
Monte.
point.
And it's the difference. Like Damian Lillard is an absolute superhero. He's like one of the best shooters I've ever seen in my entire life. I was never more sure that a basket was going to be made than when he was
I
shooting
mean,
it.
I'd be blown away if Steph did that.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what just
The
happened?
bank one was like the ultimate, like, all right, man, what
But
are we
you know
doing
what?
here? Like, he even missed that shot, but made it
But
anyway.
you know what, man? He earned it. Like
He did
hit
earn
enough
it,
of
man.
those.
He
like
did earn it.
He is. I have this bad bit I do, like in the Discord and with you guys, where I tried to slander Dame. My heart's
You can't do it
my
anymore.
heart's never
Yeah, you
been in
can't
it.
do it, yeah.
No, because he's
your heart was in it. Hold on, this is not true. Your heart was in it.
His heart was
There
in it.
was a period of time where you thought that it was a little overstated.
But it doesn't like matter because then he does that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like his numbers go down in the playoffs, but like you said at the top of the show, then he does that, and you're like, oh, that's right.
Right.
That's right.
Let's get to the real MVP though, as it were, because I'm with you on this. Like Damian Lillard is fantastic as he was,
Fantastic.
and it's not to take anything away from him.
Nothing.
They're different styles, but Jokic was, I thought, matched him down the stretch of this, just in a different way.
Yep.
And it was, look, Jokic was absolutely exhausted, but he hit so many clutch buckets in the fourth quarter, in overtime. I mean, remember he came out in the fourth quarter, immediately drains a three, and he had been a little cold, and he comes out and it's like, forget what happened in the third. It's the fourth now. It's my time. And he just absolutely took over. And then overtime, you're just like so exhausted. They get up big again and blow it again. And no fault of his own. Like in the first overtime, he had the king of the game here, 38, 9, and 11. Of course, he's the king of the game. And you get into overtime, and it was like, you know, every possession he didn't score down the stretch, he was passing to Monte for a layup brick, you know, handing it off to Gordon for something brick. And you're just like, man, just shoot a contested triple fall away or whatever. But he was fantastic in the clutch of this game, and he was absolutely exhausted.
Everyone's going to
MVP.
talk about the 55 points that Lillard scored.
Right.
And they're not going to talk about the fact that they lost because of one guy.
One guy,
The
exactly.
MVP. The MVP stopped it. He answered every single time that Lillard did something.
100%.
And not only scoring the ball, he's setting guys up mentally. He's exhausted, and he's grabbing extra rebounds. He's putting himself in positions to not only score, to put his other teammates in positions to score. Right now, we look at the box score. Lillard had 55, but who else showed up after that?
Right.
Monte Morris comes off the bench, and he comes up big. And, you know, a lot of those are like isolation baskets, but that's all of the attention that Jokic brings. That's like DHOs that are just putting them in good spots. Everybody else actually does show up, so that is a good point that you make, Eric, which is shocking to me that
I
you
know.
made a good point.
This
But-
is crazy.
I mean, but really, Jokic is our MVP. He's not only the MVP that you need, he's the MVP that we all need.
I don't even care about you guys. I just care that I need him, and he's there for me every single
Dude,
time.
That pass was
Except
it
for
double,
game 4.
Was it double OT where he breaks Robert Covington's ankles with a pass and then floats it over his fingertips?
No, that was the game. That was like
To
that was
MPJ.
the winner.
That was the winner, right?
Yeah.
I'm just all
so
blurring
he set him
together.
up. He showed it. You gotta cut.
He tells Gordon, you cut
Right.
here, and Covington's going to have to make a decision.
Dude, that was one of the best passes I've ever seen.
Do you think in segment 2 we can just wrestle for a while?
Dude,
I had a lot of energy,
I
guys.
did too. Like we just do push-ups, little workout routine.
that was like a quarterback dropping it over the corner, but underneath the safety. You know, it was just like perfect.
So, what Jokic is so great at, it's just is so innate in him. And that's what you're talking about. Like that pass, he somehow calculated Robert Covington's vertical reach. Like if he jumps his highest and stretches his arm as high as he can, it's going to be about 13 feet, 4 inches in the air. So I'm going to throw this 13 feet, 5 inches in the air perfectly on the money. And that's what happened. Like you look at it in slow motion and Covington jumps, the ball goes right over it, right into the shooting pocket. And it's just like, and the funniest part about it is he saw it 5 seconds early.
Yeah, he's
mad. Literally there sitting there and he's like, you guys, how does nobody see this? You cut, then he comes, then I throw it, and he does it. Everything happened exactly the way he planned it out.
I mean, clutch passes are rare to come by.
Yeah.
And they needed 3, and Jokic found 3. Unbelievable.
He did everything that they needed, though. They need a big rebound, he gets a big rebound. They need a basket, he gets a basket. They need, to set up a guy for a three-pointer, he does that. He answered the call every single time. Lillard's doing bank shots and all of this hero ball type stuff. And, I mean, and it's incredible to watch, but it's not under control. Jokic is under control the entire time. And that's why, like, while being, like, exhausted, he's dead tired. And he still showed up. 46 minutes, that's not Jokic. We've been seeing that. That's not him. But he did exactly what was needed. And that's why he's our MVP.
Yeah.
Can I bring up maybe an uncomfortable point?
Okay.
The panic button.
What was our panic button? Oh, for Michael Porter. Somebody hit the panic button.
All of you hit the goddamn
Did I hit
panic
the panic button?
on Mark. Yes, you gave us a juke that Michael Porter Jr. threes. Panic button.
Did I bet
Not on the
Michael
show.
Porter threes?
You're
Did he
safe.
make it tonight? Yeah, he made it. 3 threes.
And nobody.
I also told people to bet Michael Porter threes.
Is that on air somewhere? There's no
What
way
I meant, what had happened was, I was saying he needs to panic to bring out the best in him, and he did. He panicked. And,
I thought it was a don't panic button.
don't panic.
I thought it was a don't panic button.
I had a Hall of Fame.
We got another one coming?
A couple people.
Oh,
super chatted,
no.
so-
Well, did anybody super chat a shot, or did they just super chat? Okay, all right.
Who was it?
It better not be Edgar with that $2 super chat. Get out of here, Edgar. $2. We're not drinking for Edgar.
I had
This is for everybody but Edgar in the chat, to be honest with you.
I had an all-time self-own, by the way. At the end of the first quarter, I tweeted, Marcus Howard needs to hit all of these shots to justify these minutes.
And he did.
He hit every shot.
But you weren't wrong.
I know, I wasn't wrong.
Definitely weren't
But he
wrong.
did it.
Technically true.
Technically true.
true.
You know what?
Oh, go ahead. Oh, I want to stick on Yoke, actually. Is it on Yoke or no?
Well, really quick, I'm going to bestow Tiny King status on Marcus Howard.
Really?
Yeah.
He has Tiny King status.
Tiny
Hold
King
on,
status.
wait a minute.
I don't know if
Are
I'm
there
on
multiple
board with
tiny
this.
kingdoms?
Yeah, I may have gotten ahead of myself just now. Maybe I'll dial it back as we head into the break.
If you wanted
The
to
Tiny
give,
Prince,
I'll be
dude. He's
honest.
the
If
Tiny
you wanted
Prince.
to give a Tiny King status to somebody in this game, Monte Morris, who we're going to
Yes,
talk about on the other side,
Morris.
was
Dude,
right.
that's-
I'm sorry,
yeah,
Marcus
no,
Howard
that-
came in and
that
hit
tiny,
though.
three 3-pointers. Monte's pretty tiny.
Dude, here's how it goes. Monte Morris, Tiny Emperor. Facu Campazzo, Tiny King. Marcus Howard, Tiny Prince.
Yeah, we're going to talk a lot about Monte, Facu, and that dynamic here on the other side. But one other quick point on Jokic. This is going to sound, after all this, we just heaped praise on him. When the Nuggets blew that 22-point lead in the second quarter, going into the half, I thought one of the reasons was because they became too reliant on Jokic.
Oh,
and not
yeah.
just too reliant on him, but the way that they kept going to him in this very stagnant, give him the ball, do something with it. To me, it's unhealthy. I mean, we talked about Damian Lillard down the stretch, and it was all him, and did anybody else wasn't really involved. I think that's what happened in part with Denver, and in particular Michael Porter, who had a fantastic first quarter in that stretch, a little bit just out of everything. So if there's one thing I would say, Jokic needs to take over in clutch moments, which are not just fourth quarter, but also, pockets throughout the game. But I do think Denver can get a little bit more creative and also save him. He is so tired that the ability to take a couple possessions off because you trust Michael Porter, you trust Monte Morris, you trust some of these other guys to create will go a long way for Denver.
Let's do an ad read.
Let's do an ad read. On the other side, though, Monte Morris, man, easily could have won King of the Game if we didn't have, the MVP
Do you
and
guys
the Hall
want
of Famer
do
on
you guys
the
want
team.
an appetizer for the grades? Monte's getting an A.
Is it?
Monte's getting an A.
Should we do another shot before we...
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
All
let's
right.
freaking do it.
Let's do it. I like how Mikhail poured a baby one for me.
Yo, Kale, are we guessing again, or is this still the apricot?
This is a guess.
Oh,
Why
shnikes.
not just stick with what we
All
know?
right,
Givali.
to the Denver Nuggets, specifically to Brendan Vogt, and those raw sex ankles. Let's go.
Come on,
Givali.
now. Come on now. I'm going to blush.
Plum.
Nasty.
Plum. What is it?
I think it's pear.
God
I
damn
said
it.
pear. I said pear. I got it.
All right, we enjoy the Rakia. It's not the only alcohol we like at this sports bar. As you know, Breckenridge Brewery is the
we clearly
official
love it,
beer
by the way.
of DNVR. Regular seltzers are also being sold in the bar. Those seltzers are amazing. They come in a bunch of different flavors. You guys know what alcoholic seltzers are. You don't need me to explain that to you. I know they sell well in Colorado. Just get yours from Breck Brew. As you know, the tragic fires in Colorado are absolutely devastating for so many last year. It's one of the many reasons that Breck is donating 1% of all their profits this summer to the National Parks Conservation Association. That's right. If you buy 1 pint or pack of Breck brews, you're donating 1% of those proceeds to a great outdoors. We'll be hosting fun events at the bar to promote this awesome collaboration. Come down, drink a Breck or seltzer, and walk away with some awesome swag. Check out breckbrew.com/ingoodco for more details on winning the $30,000 Escape Pod trailer. Good luck, and be sure to tag us and your friends at Breck Brew when you submit your entry to win.
Dude, that trailer is sweet. That trailer is sweet AF, by the way. It came out and it hung out outside the DNVR bar before one of the first playoff games, and I contemplated stealing it.
So if you're at Breck, whether you're ordering alcohol or food, staying in or ordered to your house, use code DNVR to save $5. I used Manscaped today, guys, but don't worry.
What?
Hey!
Not on those ankles, no.
Yeah.
They're still
I know,
fuzzy and
it seems-
I
beautiful.
thought
seems like
earlier
a
you
lot.
said you waxed.
Oh, I didn't.
No, he waned, dude.
No, I
thought you said
used
you waxed.
I used the nose trimmer. The nose trimmer's pretty bitchin', man.
All right,
I get my nose hairs getting gnarly.
I gotta
so shout
say,
out Manscaped.
looking at you right now, that is a full endorsement for the nose trimmer. You look great.
Thanks, brother. The Manscaped engineering team has confirmed that they've successfully created the Lawnmower 4.0. I can confirm it because I've used it. It's now available for purchase in the USA and Canada. What is it? It's a ball trimmer. It's got an LED light. It's really hard to cut yourself. Wireless charging. And you can shave in the shower. So that's a dub. Head on over to Manscaped. Use code DNVR to get 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Worldwide for our friends across the seas. Use code DNVR at manscaped.com.
Back here on the DNVR Nuggets podcast, the Winners Lounge. The energy's still there. It's like midnight. That's only 11 o'clock. Who would have guessed?
Dude, it's not. It feels like midnight. It feels like tomorrow.
Time is
It feel-
definitely-
Dude, it feels like last year. It feels like I don't know.
Have you guys seen that M. Night Shyamalan movie, Old, where it's like you're watching the preview and they're on an island, but like everybody's time's going all fast?
Oh,
and
it just came out, right? Yeah.
I haven't know if it came out, but
it's actually not out yet.
it's not out yet. But I'm watching the preview to this, and I'm kind of like, that's a weird idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
who came up with that?
M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, it's kind of a
Just a bad
Dude,
acid
he-
trip. That's
dude,
what that
That's
is.
what it's kind of what it feels like.
Just stuck in a loop.
M. Night Shyamalan is the mellow of filmmakers. Hot early, very spotty. Can't count on him to hit
M. Night
hit
Shyamalan
a
should have
clutch.
never left Denver, man.
Yeah,
Should have
dude.
never left Denver.
I say that all the time.
I don't know what we're trying to do
I don't know
here.
what the next point is.
Monte Morris, guys, we have to move on. I mean, honestly, if Jokic wasn't like basketball Jesus, then Monte Morris would have been king of the game. This was a career playoff high for him. And 28 points, 10 of 11 from the free throw line. That one is the one I remember, sadly. I apologize, Monte. But 4 of 9 from the three-point line, including some monster threes.
man.
Dude.
Absolutely monster threes.
Lock.
You know, Facu has been great in the series at certain things and has been like very ineffective at others. I loved that Denver closed this game down the stretch with Monte in his place because I felt like Monte provided a little bit extra scoring punch. And, you know, look, it's funny. Everybody was ragging on Facu in games 1 and 2, like, oh, Lillard just lights him up. Well, guess what? Lillard lights up no matter who Denver's going to put out.
Turns
Like,
out that's like
that's
tough
just going to
to stop.
happen. So maybe give Facu a little bit of a slide here. But Monte Morris tonight, other than the missed free throw and the missed layup, which I know it sounds like those are big things, but this game was in crunch time for like 2 hours. Other than those, he came up clutch and made some great not good basketball plays, great basketball plays, and effectively ran that two-man game with Jokic down the stretch.
You know, I don't always look at Monte's box score because he can have identical box scores in 2 different nights.
Oh, totally.
Because often it's Monte has the ball in his hands when Denver needs something to happen. And I'm definitely at the point where more often than not he makes it happen.
Yeah.
He had 4 or 5 chances tonight, right? Where you just knew that shot was big before it went up. And it seemed like he hit all of them with the exception of that one layup at the end.
And the free throw.
But
we love you,
look,
Tay. You're the prince. Or the emperor.
That was a step-up job from a bench player in Denver. That was a big time. Not every guy who's a 6th, 7th man can be that unafraid in that moment. Monte is unafraid.
41 minutes, 5 assists, 28 points, 0 turnovers. He showed up big. Like, that's a Monte that's not a Monte night, but that is a Monte night.
No
But
turnovers.
the Nuggets, they needed him. the most and he stepped up, he's doing things that makes you forget that he was injured. Like we forget the fact that he's coming off of an injury that set him down for a moment, and that's when Facu stepped up, and Facu still did his job. This was not a good Facu game, but Monte steps in and Malone rides the hot hand, which is another good decision by Malone to go after someone that, because we know that Malone loves Facu. He loves him with all of them. But he knew who was going to win him the game. He knew who he had to close with, and he knew who was making plays. And for them to trust a guy off of the bench to play him the entire game, and then him to just step up every single time and hit big shot after big shot. I don't care about that layup. He got him into the game. He won him the game. He played big tonight, and I trust him. It's as if I trust him with my life.
In Monte we trust, which we were supposed to make an In Monte we trust shirt, but it got axed by.
First off, we did make it.
We did make it. Years back we made it, but it was no good. Won't see the light of day until Monte says, "Go ahead and make it."
Can I shout another guy out?
Yeah.
Austin Rivers had 7 assists tonight, by the way.
Wow.
7.
I love Austin Rivers. The shocker of the century for me this year is that I am a 100% Austin Rivers stan. And if you would have told me this 2 months ago that you're going to become an Austin Rivers stan, I'd be like,
dude,
what? This doesn't make sense.
You're like, am I a Knicks fan?
Does he hit a single big shot for the Nuggets or something? And it's like, I just love everything about him.
Yeah, I don't think he has any stands outside of Denver, but he has a bunch now, man.
You know what he does, though? Here's the thing that's crazy, and this is why what he said weeks back about how like the narrative gets out at you. Every city, all the reporters have reached out to me and be like, "Man, I miss Austin Rivers. I miss covering that guy. That guy's awesome." And I'm like, I've never heard this before.
No, we heard that he was like a locker room cancer. Right. We heard like bad things about him. He shows up. All he does is like make us melt every time he talks. We're like, have him say some more things
and play his heart out. And by the way, man, I really do hate the NBA.
It's terrible.
It's
terrible.
So terrible. The foul,
so
like Austin Rivers did an elite job defending Damian Lillard on the end of regulation last play, and like for that to be called, and look, the referees kind of came back and were like, Michael Porter doing post game without a shirt on,
no shirt. Hold on, we're gonna take a little time here for ourselves.
Wow, he does have like the perfect body, doesn't he?
When did he get that Adam Morris tattoo?
Form corner coming to you.
A little male form corner for you.
Locked on Nuggets on his chest. Okay,
Austin Rivers, you're right, man. Are we done with the Monte love and we're moving on to full Austin Rivers love? That play he defended, by the way, what I meant to say was, I don't know how you play defense.
Yeah.
Like there's a gap. There's a Grand Canyon-sized chasm between hand checking and whatever the hell they called a foul on that 3-point. And then the referees come out and they're like, "Look, it is a foul, but we're going to put it on the floor." Instead of it, you're like, well, dude, just say that it's not a foul. And like, just have the balls to be like, this league is so dumb.
It's just the difference between the perimeter and the inside.
Like, we've had a few minutes to talk about it. Man, this league is dumb. We
really
can't.
dumb.
I just can't be party to this anymore.
What I was gonna say. So that's the defensive play people are gonna remember. That was good defense.
It was great defense.
He picks up
man.
5 fouls. A few of those were silly. And yes, Dame rained someone on his head, but I'm like 100% sure that could have been anyone.
Yeah.
So 4 for 8 from the field, or from 3, 5 for 10 from the field, 4 for 4 from the line, 7 assists. Look,
47 minutes.
47 minutes for Austin Rivers for the Denver Nuggets to go up 3-2 in the first round. I mean, we've milked this joke dry, but if you told your past self that would be the case, 47 minutes from Austin Rivers.
My past self would have said that Austin Rivers was a bucket.
I think I would let.
That's what he would have said, and I would have been like, "That's right, true that."
He did go 4 of 8 from 3-point line tonight, for those 18 points, and 5 of 10 overall from the field. So he's just been a joy to watch and to root for over this period. Aaron Gordon tonight, the thing that sticks out to me when I look at his box score is the 2 for 4 3-point shooting. Both of those coming early in this game when Denver was on. Like when Michael Porter and Aaron Gordon are both scoring, Denver's up 20. When you get that wing involvement for Denver, like you're up big. But 10 rebounds, 4 assists. This was another big play tonight. I have been so critical, and he's had these even in this game where he is so athletic, but he goes to the basket soft, and you're like, dude, dunk it on whoever's in front of you. Nobody jumps. In the NBA, there's like 3 guys that jump as high as you, and nobody that jumps as high as you is as strong as you. So go hard. And he doesn't. He hardly ever does. But you know when he did go hard at the basket to try to dunk it? Yusuf Nurkic's 6th foul.
Yep.
And if he goes up any other way on that play, Nurkic doesn't get a foul call. Maybe he makes the bucket, but Nurkic doesn't get his 6th foul. And that was the difference in the game. getting Nurkic out.
I know.
Great play.
Nobody likes to listen to me. I tell you, he's going to foul out every game.
Eric,
You did say that.
All we do is listen to you.
No, nobody listens to me until it's right.
No, we listen. We don't hear you.
Nobody listens to me.
It's different.
Break down Aaron Gordon for me tonight.
With Aaron Gordon, he hits those shots early in the game, and I feel like that opens it up for Jokic. That's the way that he's able to open up the rest of the floor, because if Aaron Gordon's hitting shots from deep, Michael Porter Jr. is hitting shots from deep, Monte Morris is hitting. They're like, how do we guard him? We can't guard him one-on-one. Nurkic is fouling every single time. They even have their guys that don't shoot these shots typically are making in-stride three-pointers. So now we get to see a big Nikola Jokic type of assist night, because everyone else is getting involved, and that spaces up the floor. You said earlier that the offense got stagnant, and that's when they were just trying to find something to get going. That's when Aaron Gordon finally did hit those shots, and it got things back going. I feel like it got it back into a rhythm, and those are the type of things that you need from him. Defensively, he's not taking on the role of just guarding Lillard, but I feel like that's just a part of the game plan. Let him kill you and let nobody else, and you just got a lot of help side and things, because right now Lillard is the one just hitting shots from deep, but they're not getting inside and getting their baskets going. So I feel like that has to be a part of the game plan. Aaron Gordon was meh. He was meh tonight.
Oh, really?
You should grab that photo, by the way, Kel. We'll put it on the broadcast. That's a great photo.
I disagree a bit, Dev. I thought Aaron Gordon was pretty good tonight.
Yeah, I thought he was good.
So he has,
I thought he was
so he has
great.
10 rebounds, including 4 on the offensive end.
Yep.
Jokic, Porter, Gordon combined for 33 rebounds. That was very big.
Yeah.
That was very big.
I don't know that Denver fully has realized how to use Aaron Gordon. That will probably take an entire another season. I thought the same thing with Jeremy Grant, by the way. Another season in Denver, I do think he would have started to expand his game or whatever. Aaron Gordon, I think, will be much the same. You get a training camp, you get all that stuff under your belt with him. It'll go that way. But the thing Denver needs from him more than anything else is just effort. And tonight, I don't feel like that's always there with him. And I don't even think it's effort mentally he's locked in. I just think his body runs at a certain pace, man.
Yeah.
He's a chill dude. He just runs at a chill pace.
He's been on though so far.
Well,
in the
this
playoffs.
game to me was the most, on the first watch, the most he was just dialed in.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I'll have to rewatch, but I thought he did his defensive throughout the game. We saw him guard CJ, saw him guard Dame, saw him guard Norm, and I thought through various points did a really good job. I thought he was part of throwing CJ out of his rhythm. Again, I'll have to rewatch, but yeah, 54% from the field, 50% from deep, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. That's what you're asking for out of Aaron Gordon.
Lastly, we talk about JaMychal Green and Paul Millsap. JaMychal Green had a couple of big plays. The three-pointer really sticks out. He had 7 boards. That second unit as a whole did a great job, especially in the first half, of taking a lead and extending it, which is what you should do against. Portland does not trust their bench. And it's funny, if you are a Portland player right now, if you are Carmelo Anthony, they clearly don't trust you a whole lot. If you're Enes Kanter, they have told you, hey, we're only playing you because we have to, dude. There's no confidence there. And even Simons, it's not like they have a ton of trust for him. So I think that Portland is a team right now where, Denver has more faith in their bench. And tonight, JaMychal Green, obviously Monte Morris, Marcus Howard. The one guy I didn't think was great tonight was Paul Millsap, which is funny. He was a +7. But Paul Millsap had a couple of very high-profile, you can't make a mistake here, and he made a mistake.
Yeah, this was not a perfectly played game by any stretch of the imagination.
So
by either side, yeah. Paul had some moments. He had some really bad moments. J-Mike had some really great moments. But he was
good tonight.
He was really he hit a very big 3. He also had a steal and a very pivotal rebound.
7 rebounds in 20 minutes off the bench.
It's that's the thing is that obviously this is not the same squad without our biggest players. But we have Jokic, and when you have Jokic and Jokic is playing, it sort of affords all of the other role players to sort of find their way, right?
Yeah.
They don't have the same pressure as
what was the Millsap play that was really frustrating?
Well, he ran down the court and he had a fast break. The lane opened up. He drove to the basket and he just got it slapped out of his hands. He punted off. It went out of bounds. Millsap has one of those every 3 games. You just want to absolutely die. But, it wasn't a great Millsap game, but the last game was a good Millsap game. And, it's just he's at a point in his career where you can't count on him, but he's not washed.
It's wild how much this series mirrors the 2019 series. And when I say mirrors, almost like a reflection of it, in some ways opposite. I mean,
just like a mirror.
Well, just like a mirror. So I do mean literally like a mirror.
In some ways.
In some ways, like a mirror. Although usually when you use that expression, it means identical to. But this is inversely identical to.
Yeah, but that's actually what a mirror is.
That is. Yeah, I explained it right. Definitely what.
I get it.
You guys get it. But I'm serious, like this series where there's back and forth, there's so many things, and then of course you get the multi-overtime game, but this time it goes in Denver's favor, not the other way around. There was even, what was funny? There was even a tipped ball out of bounds, go to the review booth and see it. If you remember that series, it was such a unfortunate, it's actually technically off of Murray's finger, goes out of bounds close, and then it goes the other way.
Our man, so Where's My Juice, who's in the chat all the time, just blessed us.
Oh my God, he blessed us.
Thanks.
Where's My Juice? Anyway, that play. Oh, that is awesome. Oh, that's right. I always see that guy. What's up? So yeah. Anyway, that. What was I saying?
Yeah, I stopped listening. I got my ad reads.
It was
ready.
the fingertip.
You were talking about how
it's mirrors. And here's my question.
Revenge game.
Here's my question
revenge
is
series.
who has the leg up now going back to Portland, Dev? I would assume obviously Portland gets a boost from being at home, but this was a game that both teams put everything. Both teams emptied the tank.
Yeah, I feel like they did empty the tank. And also, I feel like it has to be Portland just because I feel like every single time Malone is in a situation where he just wants to counter. That's all he's looking for is to see what, changes you made, and now I can make a change. And then we'll see what changes you make, and then I'll make a change. Instead of being the puncher. I don't like that because if that's the case, Nuggets could go in there and end it. They could actually end the series in Portland.
In 6.
And that's what we all want. Nobody – we joke about 7. We don't want 7.
I said 6. I'm sticking with 6.
End it in 6. But also I feel like Portland's going to make their changes. They're going to adjust.
I don't think there's changes to make. The change is Nurkic don't foul out.
Exactly.
Yeah. And for Denver, it's foul Nurkic out.
Yeah, but I think that's the cat and mouse game also with Malone is – he's going to feel like there's changes being made, so he's going to make the change first, and then it just doesn't work out.
Did not with a couple post games ago, or maybe it was even a pregame when you were like, Denver has a Yusuf Nurkic problem. This is going to come down to Yusuf Nurkic. I was like, awesome. Yeah. That means we win. He's not. He's just he's not smart enough.
Your confidence.
He's had a great series, but you're right.
He fouls out every game that they need him. Every time all 3 of these games, when it came down to it, Nurkic fouled out with a lot of time left. And when they absolutely needed him, you were talking about, Adam sees the game very clearly when we're watching, and he's Portland is saving up their best punch. Nurkic is on the bench, Covington's on the bench, and they're going to bring them in to bring that last punch. And then Nurkic
it's because in Game 3 they did the opposite of that, and they brought Nurk early, and he got the 2 fouls and went out. Turns out it didn't matter.
Doesn't matter, dude. He just comes in, he fouls out.
His 6th foul was really a dumb foul. If he's your player and he does that one, you're so mad that you're bro, you have 5. There's 5 minutes or 6 minutes left. What are you doing?
He doesn't possess that. He's not measured. He's just too. His game is predicated on his physicality. He is the direct opposite of Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
He's having a lot of trouble finishing over those smaller guys.
That's Nurkic though. He's one of the worst finishers in all the NBA.
But it's crazy for a guy who Game 4, best player on the floor.
Yeah.
Game 5, how do I get around / over Facu and Marcus Howard? That shouldn't be a problem for him. Yeah. But anyway, I think for the most part, he's playing well.
Yeah. We should take our other break. On the other side, though, I do want to... We have a lot to get through. And as well, Harrison Wind is at Ball Arena. He is waiting right now on Nikola Jokic. He has already heard from Michael Porter Jr., Michael Malone, and Monte Morris. So we'll get the full report from him live from Ball Arena after this last break.
Do you think
he was
able
a little bit of... we might get a little fast and loose here.
Do you think he was able to pay attention when a shirtless MPJ approached the podium?
We'll have to ask him about
what if he just What if he just has no notes?
Wind's unflappable, bro.
We'll see, dude. The ultimate test.
Guys, Illegal Pete is back. Hell yeah, and they're back on board with us.
Stir it up, baby.
Lots of restaurants. Illegal Pete's was one of them. But they're back in action as they have been for a while now. And this partnership is back up and running. The Soundcheck promotion. It's an ongoing promotion at all locations that offers a free draft beer or house marg with the purchase of an adult entree when the guest shows a same-day ticket to any event. Are you going to a Denver sports game? Go get a free drink and hang out at Illegal Pete.
If this comes back to Game 7, man, I hope Mayor Hancock says, you know what, full capacity. Game 7.
At Illegal Pete's. They also launched Party Margs during the
capacity here,
pandemic.
that's all that matters.
The Party Margs are 32 ounces of house margarita. For those doing math at home, that's 4 times the house. That's the size of their house marg. That's a good deal. They have happy hour at all locations from 3 to 6 p.m. every day. $1 for all drafts, $1 for all house and coin style margs. Look, you guys know the deals. You also know their queso's dope. Check out Illegal Pete's.
It's called a house marg because you could move into it.
It is enormous. Yeah. It costs $1,500 a month in Capitol Hill.
DraftKings Sportsbook, guys, is
Get a
my
roommate.
You need a roommate to split it.
DraftKings Sportsbook is my go-to sportsbook app. It's also America's top-rated sportsbook. I love using DraftKings Sportsbook. Easy to navigate. Plenty of instructions for new bettors. If you're a new bettor, not sure how to make money, just watch our show and ask Dev. By the way, DraftKings Sportsbook is putting you courtside with a chance to turn $1 into $100 in site credits. That's right. Pick any basketball team that is still in contention. Bet $1. If that team wins, you win $100. I dropped out of high school math, but that seems pretty tight. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app
what?
now. And the second I got into college, I
High
just
school?
dropped out.
You dropped out of high school math?
I was like, I'm in college. Cool, I'm done. Then I paid someone to take the math placement test for me in college.
Yeah.
They put me in advanced calc. The
Let's-
school made me take it.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I
bro.
got D-. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now.
You're like,
Passed, baby.
Use
Nailed
promo
it.
code DNVR when you sign up.
None of that math you didn't pass on matters.
I'm
Did not
not
matter.
using it at all right now. Turn $1
But
into
listen, kids,
$100 in
do
free
your math
credits.
homework, for real.
Bet on the basketball team of your choice to win. That's promo code DNVR for a limited time. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only. New customers only. Wager paid out in site credits. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Are you done?
No, there's one more read, bro. We do 3 in the second
You guys
half.
notice when Harrison does this? Super fast.
Okay, anyway,
we
you
said,
can
we said it earlier. Like,
We do
it's
say it
just
all
like
the
the
time.
Vogt show. Like,
It's
we
the
hear
one thing
you,
that's
Vogt. We're
tough,
looking
though,
at you.
Is you hit a rhythm and then all 3 of your co-hosts start talking.
Hey, Harrison deals with it.
You can get 25% off all your first
It's like
purchase.
gladiators when they're like, they have to go through the course, but there's the other guys that are like throwing balls at them.
Yeah, I can't,
That's what it's like.
Can't imagine why these take long. You get 25% off your first purchase at Strava Craft Coffee when you use code DNVR25. What's Strava Craft Coffee? CBD infused coffee. It's delicious. It helps with all types of symptoms from anxiety to joint pain to IBS. That's Eric's favorite.
Let's go.
You can get 20% off, 25% off using code DNVR25, or you can get 20% off every single order when you use their subscription service. What dosage, what flavor, when it comes to you every 2, 4, 6, 8 weeks, just let them know, and Strava Craft Coffee will hook you up.
Dude, somebody in the comments is like, Eric is buzzed. I'm like, dude, I didn't even. Oh, I just had 2 shots of Rakia. You might be right.
I'm telling you, man, I'm not buzzed. I'm definitely not buzzed, but I am exhausted.
Dude,
from
my
that.
my
Like,
body is like slowly turning back on. Like, I shut
Yeah,
down
totally.
all of the sectors, and like it's slowly like I'm getting feeling, and I'm feeling good.
Look,
Feeling great, guys.
I just want you guys to know Evan McKee has my back. He says, come on, guys. Vogt just wants to tell us about his balls. Let him be a professional.
Everybody hit that like button. On game 3, we got up to like 950 likes. We almost did it. We've never cracked 1,000. So if you're watching this late or if you're watching it live, hit the like button. Let's try to set a new record. Keep the good vibes going. Kale, that's what I was going to hit you up about. So we have a couple super chats. Let's get to those while we wait for Harrison.
All right. So coming from Josh.
Can they hear you, Kale?
No.
Okay. Will Barton might return next game, but is notoriously bad after an injury. Adam, does he have a place on the court in Game 6?
I'll let Dev take this one first. I haven't heard from Dev in a minute.
I just don't want him to play. I really don't.
Really?
Right now. Or if you do, you just play him just so sporadic. Like, I don't want him to come in with the idea that you're going to play big minutes coming off of an injury. I don't even care that he doesn't play well off of injury. I don't want a guy coming off of injury into the playoffs with big minutes.
Gary did it.
Work your way up. Yeah, Gary did it, but he's playing defense the entire time.
Yeah.
It's not like trying to play offense
You're
as
totally
well.
right.
And also, just the way that Will Barton plays is just not a way that they're playing right now, and I feel like that would mess up some type of chemistry.
But you know what they need is a pick and roll ball handler that can be a scoring threat. I mean, that's the thing about Facu. He had a layup today that was had a no hope and he does a lot of great things, but because Denver is so short-handed from scorers, especially off the bounce scorers, teams can sort of game plan and guard that pick and roll. So I do wonder this. The problem is, Denver did buy themselves a little grace going into Game 6. Would you love to close it out? Of course you'd love to close it out in Game 6. But if you don't, it's not the end of the world. And I do wonder if Barton is ready to go, if that buys you hey, you're going to get 10 minutes or maybe less. You're going to get one stint. It's going to be in the second quarter. We're going to play you a little bit with the bench, a little bit with Jokic, because I think it's important for him to play with Jokic since that's what you're actually – you want to test that out and say, hey, is this going to work late game if we have to go to it? Is this a thing or is this viable? And you're only going to play about 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and that's okay. Game 7, you'll play – should there be a Game 7, you'll play more, or next series you'll play more. To me, that would be my hope for Will Barton. If you lost this game and he's available and you're going into Game 6, then it becomes an impossible – like you almost can't play him at that point. But
this is also, a discussion for us. Malone will play Will Barton if he's healthy. He said that before. He's not going to plug him into the starting lineup, I think, right away.
No.
But he will find minutes for him.
He'll play him for sure, yeah.
It is worth noting Barton struggled to hit layups all season long. Hard to think that'll look much better coming off a hamstring strain.
No.
But, look, he's a starter on this team. He is one of the better players on this team. They're down a lot of guys. You want to win this series first and foremost. But it's also sort of pointless. Like, you need Will Barton back at some point.
Apparently we got a really salty little baby Dame comment about the refs.
But
oh, dude! So we just did a Damian Lillard love fest. But I will say, after Game 3, if you watch his press conference, I hated it. It was 10 straight minutes of complaining about the officials, and I couldn't believe it, man.
Loser.
I'm fine with players calling out an official or something, but it's like one comment, man. Like you sit there, he did 10 minutes, and every question was like,
my heart's back in the bit,
dude.
Especially after that call he got.
Dude, it's
I know exactly. Like, come on, like Damian Lillard doesn't get foul calls. Get out of here,
this is
man.
Dame overtime.
My goodness. Alrighty, what else we got? Yes, Damian Lillard, 0 fouls tonight.
All right, coming in from David East.
Says, my recent drink, or I can't recant my recent drink request, but can we talk about that Jokic pass for at least 10 minutes?
Well, we did talk about it for a while, and it was gorgeous.
Sorry, David. I don't know if you're satisfied or unhappy, but we did.
Hey, how great is it? George Carl, by the way, on the Keeping It 1000 pod, you should listen to it. It was about the entire series, not just about this game, but I asked him what he was confident in. What things he was like certain are going to happen. He's like, Yoke's going to have a great game. And he said he's going to have a triple-double. Well, maybe not quite a triple-double, but it'll be a 30-point big night. 38, 11, and 9. Nailed it. Not quite a triple-double, but a big game.
Nailed it.
Right on. Spot on.
We do have that picture of that.
Dude, look at this. Put that thing on, man. So this is
smokes,
mean,
dude.
the best part of it. Everybody knows the best part of this. Carmelo Anthony just staring in the background.
God.
Hey.
There's a Blazers fan.
This is a total like Melo. This could have been us,
dude. I'm gonna analyze
guys.
this like the Zapruder film. I'm gonna look at every aspect.
Beautiful
of this.
form.
And actually, if you guys could give me like 2 or 3 minutes alone right now with that photo.
Melo, no, he's like upset at Rocco. Like I should have been in the game right now.
Well, if you want some,
oh my God, I didn't even notice
wasn't.
Robert Covington on the ground.
On the ground, it's just a total like game.
Am I going to get those 3 minutes?
Is
alone with the
Robert
photo
Covington
no?
on the? Did he fall on the ground jumping to try to steal the ball?
Yes.
But he actually like went in with Aaron
the
Gordon,
cut.
and then he just was like,
Jokic kind of broke his ankle.
Jokic just murdered him, man. What a beautiful photo.
By the way, guys,
man.
Carmelo Anthony 3 for 11, 2 for 9 from 3.
I know. One of my favorite tweets that I almost didn't put out is that I said I can't wait till when Portland also starts to boo Melo.
That would be a great. That would be a really good one. Series not over, man. I mean, I think Game 6 is going to be the toughest one yet. I know we've been saying that.
This thing's going 7.
It's just this series is so tough. But Michael Porter, I think, got over the hump tonight. I think Monte Morris gave. I think he becomes a bigger part of this series. Over the final game or 2 games, whatever it should be. And, we still have Jokic. As tired as he was, you get 2 full nights off, and you get Jokic another crack at it. And, look, he has 30-plus points in the series all but once. 5 games into this, 4 times he has 34, 38, 38, 36. A hell of a – and what did he have, 26 or something? It's not even like it was that bad.
I will say, I do have a small level of concern, though. He's fatigued, man, and that's not going to get better in Game 6 and 7.
Here's the thing is I don't know, other than in Game 4, I think that was compound fatigue. 2 nights off, it is not a lot, but I think it is enough for him to recharge. The thing is, I think the series is just difficult for him. The number one thing you look at Jamal Murray, number one thing is just like courage in the fourth, the ability to run pick and rolls and all that stuff. But another thing they miss is Jokic having the ability to take plays off. Not fully off, but just where he doesn't have to do every damn thing.
Right.
And I think right now, the fact that he has to handle and touch the ball 4 or 5 times every time down the court, it's just exhausting. And so I'm a little less concerned of that, but it will be a factor.
It's something to watch. I've seen some comments, he settled for jumpers, a lot of soundboard shuffles. He was not trying to dig down low in the final 5 minutes. I mean, I'm not hammering Yoke. Like,
we have any other final commentary? We have a couple more super chats, Kale.
Super chats, yeah. You guys can say no to this one.
Yeah, we can't answer this one. Not looking too far ahead. Rather play LA or Phoenix.
No,
I'd rather play the Portland Trailblazers.
We're not taking the bait.
I'm not taking it. Yeah.
Good question.
Last one, then.
Even though Portland was forced to play small ball lineup, do you think they will go for it next game actively?
Well, they do. They did that before. Like, they only played Cantor because they had to, but they already were going to their second unit with Rondé Hollis-Jefferson. So that's already a done deal. Like, Cantor will maybe play a little bit, but they already trust their small ball lineup.
I love when they try to put Carmelo and Jokic.
Yeah.
Dude,
what is that?
It's what it is. It's called poetry. It's called poetic justice, where we watch 15 go up against 0-0.
What it really is just hope they don't call fouls on Melo, because Melo's going to be there just like doing as much as he can.
He slaps it.
They just and Jokic was getting pissed at him. I mean, he was looking at the referee and screaming at him for a large portion of this.
Someone just made a really good point. Oh, Tay Cummins said one of the reasons that Jokic was so tired is because he has to come out so high on all these screens, too. Like, on defense, it's not like he's getting to just sit back and relax. He's very involved in all these possessions. I cannot imagine the burden that Jokic is feeling right now. Anyway, 32, 11, and 4 on 52% from the field and 39% from deep.
38, actually.
He's really feeling it.
Is that his averages or something?
Yeah.
He's only averaging 32.
No, points. Well, I think he had like 18 or 19 in the game 4, right?
16.
16.
He had 16. That's what weighed it down.
What would you call that? An aberration?
That was an aberration. Yeah, that won't happen again.
Couple more super chats coming in.
All right, our guy Ray.
Eric,
Would playing JaVale Moore give Jokic a break in the trenches, maybe together? So here's the problem. I saw a lot of people say this. Here's the problem with JaVale. It's the same reason that, well, not the exact same reason, but one of the reasons they don't want to play Cantor is Portland is killing Denver from the three-point line. Yeah. They're killing them on the pick and roll. And JaVale, everybody keeps thinking like Nurkic is grabbing offensive rebounds, this or that. Yeah, but he's not grabbing them against whoever's guarding him. He's not grabbing offensive rebounds over Jokic. He's grabbing them on whoever has to rotate on the backside to Nurkic. And you put JaVale out there, all you're going to have is JaVale on Damian Lillard instead of JaMychal Green or Paul Millsap or Michael Porter or whatever. So I think in theory I get what people are saying. Now, if you're talking about against the starting unit, I think no way. Lillard and Nurkic on the court together have been awesome. Like the series, they're like a plus 50 through 5 games right now in the series. So to even lessen that a little bit and say, hey, JaVale, you go out there. No, JaVale's not going to do, in my opinion, a better job of defending the Damian Lillard pick and roll than Jokic is. He's a great rim protector, but he's not like a great perimeter defender. So I just don't think you can do that. This is the playoffs, man.
Somebody sent me the Michael Porter Jr. photo. So I'm just going to, if you guys don't come to me for a while.
Because you're just looking at it? Isn't it a work of art?
It's the most beautiful thing these eyes have ever beheld.
While we wait for Harrison Wynn, do you mind tapping Will in real quick? I want to get
We have even more super chats.
Oh, we do? Well, here, let me tap. You don't want it? I want to get a report from Pepsi or Ball Arena.
Come on in, brother.
Let me just get a quick Ball Arena update. Because
everyone knows I'm expendable.
The DNVR bar tonight.
No.
The DNVR bar
never
tonight.
Say that again.
Nervous energy. This was a crowd, like, usually we have chants go in an hour early. Tonight, everybody was like, I'm too focused. What? I know, yeah, you have to hang around, bro. You have to hang around. So we have Fruity Nugs here, Big Will.
How's it going?
So you were at Ball Arena tonight. Was there nervous energy at Ball Arena before the game?
Before the game, I didn't feel it before the game. Overtime, 1,000% nervous because everyone in the entire arena was just waiting for the next call that was going to go against us to extend the game.
Yeah.
It kept happening. So it just kind of snowballed.
Yeah.
I don't feel like everyone exhaled until Porter hit the 3.
Even then, though, it was still. I think that put him up 3.
Yeah, no, I couldn't watch any free throws after the first overtime. My eyes were closed. It's very loud. I have never been a part of a louder "ref you suck" chant in my entire life, and I've been to a lot of sporting events.
With a lot of refs that sucked.
See, so normally, and Shay and my wife can attest to this, before every game, like, they'll announce the refs, and if, like, I don't recognize them, like, that's good. I don't recognize these refs, that means they're good. It's like it's like a left tackle. If you know who the left tackle is, it's probably because he gets called for holding a lot. So I didn't recognize the refs until they took the jerseys off, and I saw 42. And 42, I have had bad experiences with before. I want to say his name's Eric Davis. I could be wrong. But yeah, it was nervous energy for sure. If you can't tell by what's radiating from me right now, I still am surprised we're not in the 6th or 7th overtime. But yeah.
That first overtime was the heartbreaker because Denver put that away immediately.
Yes.
They immediately came out. Monte Morris hits back-to-back three-pointers. Who else hit a three? It was 3 threes, right? Or was it an and one? I can't remember. But Denver gets 3 3-pointers in that one. They're up Monte, 9 points, and you're like, there's like 2 minutes to go, up 9, and you're like, this is over. And then it was just a comedy of errors. Plus Damian Lillard just going absolutely nuclear to get it.
When he hit the one, when he banked it in, I was just like, well, I'm going to be here until tomorrow.
Might as well get comfortable. Did anybody leave?
There was a heavy bathroom break at the end of the
Everybody
first.
had to piss.
Wait a minute.
Imagine having to piss at the end of overtime. You're like, God.
What was heavy in reference to when it comes to bathroom?
Really great flow. Is that what you were doing? Is that was great flows?
I can't say I calibrated it, but my buddy Jake, the member of the Fruity Nugs, could not after the phantom call. Well, I don't know what we're going to call it for whatever. He couldn't watch. He was playing. He was literally doing crosswords on his phone, so his head wouldn't explode from the anger.
No, I was laying down on the couch. I was like, I may my body ascend into heaven or descend into hell. I don't know. I can't be part of this though. Something's going to happen to me, and I'm just.
I don't know. I've had my heart broken so many times where I'm just going to sit here and maybe it won't hit me. But his tactic was definitely I'm just going to focus on something else. And it worked, so good for him. Crossword puzzle.
We buried the lead. What sign did you bring?
We didn't bring a sign this
What
time.
the H, bro?
You know what that means?
Well, we can't bring a sign next game because we won.
It's gonna be tough.
I know.
Well, they're going to win in Portland.
Well,
so
see, here's the thing. We had a sign. We brought a sign. It was Portland fun fact. A Rivers runs through it.
Yeah.
And we created that, and then Rivers did not play very well last game. So we were like, I don't know if I want to bring this in the stadium. We were also like coming both from work. We didn't come up with anything else.
Hearing a lot
so
of
that's
excuses.
on us. We'll be
Hearing
better.
a lot of excuses, Fruity Nugs.
We'll be better. We have a fantastic sign cooked up.
All right. Well,
It has to do with.
hey, don't spoil
No,
it.
I'll just say we've got a good one that we cooked up.
What does it have to
in
do
the
with? We're all
stage.
waiting. What does it have to do with?
No, you're gonna have to wait. Listen, he didn't bring a sign.
I didn't
to
bring
the
a
game
sign.
tonight.
I don't know. I deserve to
Is
be
there like
shamed.
a clue?
It's
I'm
not
trying to
sign
think of a
court.
clue. It has to do with a particularly very famous British actress.
Oh,
All right, Bip, that doesn't help.
that is none of
Where I
those.
thought we were going.
None of those words are what I expected you to
None
say.
of them. Not a single word on there.
Important super chat for.
Actually, I know now.
On as well. It's from our pal Ryan Green.
Yo, shout
Yo,
to the go.
We have
Nuggets
Nuggets Blazers
Blazers
series for the next 5 to 10 years. Oh,
Yes. Should I get a new policy on my life insurance? Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Like, honestly, I don't have too many more of these in me. I got maybe a
I
dozen.
mean, who's the beneficiary?
Ooh, that's a good point.
Like, just to have it?
Is it us?
You know, we
Is it
get
us, right?
If,
Is it-
if
are
we're the
we-
beneficiary,
are
then
we
absolutely.
up it. Put more into it.
And
you
also,
know?
I just cracked the code. It's Dame Judi Dench.
Oh, he didn't crack the code. I can't believe you gave too much of a
damn you.
clue. Wow.
Back to the drawing board, Fruity Nugs.
I mean, you're telling me a sign that had "It's Dame Time" with a picture of Judi Dench wouldn't be hysterical to you? Just a picture of Judi Dench.
This isn't. It's
I'm
really
sorry.
weird,
Like,
Joe.
are you that type of person?
I don't.
I
What
find like I like less and less things about you every episode.
well, I mean, like, what do we? How many do we have left?
Well, shit.
We're almost out of it.
I just need to know how many I have left to work with.
There's probably like we
Man.
have probably like 10 or 12 more episodes.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah. What? 10 or 12 things you like about me?
We'll figure it out.
I gotta say, my heart for the series, like, it's weird because what are we ultimately talking about? I mean, the Lakers lose tonight. You know, Utah's the only team so far out west that really has things kind of like under control at the moment, and
they're playing
I
an 8
don't
seed.
know what Denver's end game is on the season, but just like the weird little victories along the way. They're talking about with George Karl today after we did our show about how tough it is that some fans and really some media, and I feel it's just a shtick, but they're like, there's only one success and it's the championship and everything else is failure unless you just want your orange slices or whatever. These people are like complete and total losers and, you know, like, like as people. But, you know, but the thing is like, there is this weird victory you get. There's a little victory you get for pushing this to a 6 or 7 game series, being as shorthanded as you are. There's another one a little victory if you get to the next round. And every round you go, there's just these little victories of like, man, you know what was off? We'll think about last year's team as the 3-1 comeback team. We'll always talk about it. And that team will take precedent over so many other teams just because it's like, yeah, that's the team that was down and out twice and they came back or whatever. And this year, if you get this one or you get however far you go, you're going to look at it and say, that was the team that lost their starting point guard, their backup point guard, their starting
We're going to call them the don't back down Nuggets
shooting guard. And they ended up playing 2 two-way players against one of the best backcourts in the NBA. And if they pull this off, it just is a whole other feather in your cap. And to me, that's what this is all about right now. You're looking at it, you're like, man, can they do this? Can they climb this mountain?
I feel like this is like reason number 10 that Michael Malone should win Coach of the Year at some point. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the true metric is that will get someone that award. But
what's your feeling,
he's put up
What's your
with,
feeling? We had a little issue with the way that he handled fouls at the very end of the game, allowing Dame Lillard to just shoot threes instead of fouling him, so he could only get 2.
I was in such a shame spiral about foul calls going against us that I didn't even think about that. But to be honest, yeah, probably. But at the same time, we won, so I'm not going to nitpick it, but.
I will say I am very anti-fouling up 3, despite the fact that it is 100% the logical and smart thing to do. I just hate that. I hate I hate the NBA. I'm telling you, the NBA is really, it is so broken that like Damian Lillard complaining about foul calls after the entire last hour of regulation.
The most
he was
incredible basketball of all time.
Just trying to do this and jump sideways and all this stuff, and you're like, what is this, man? So it almost burned Denver tonight, not fouling, but
Twice.
I kind of. No, like 8 times, but more than twice, man. It was so many.
Foul next time.
No, but just please foul next time. If Harrison Wind does not ask about that, no, I'm not with you.
You guys want to know something hilarious? Miroslav just now, literally just now, retweeted the pregame show that he was on.
Hell yeah, dude! Good morning, Dobre Večer.
Don't buy Miroslav watching that game.
He did. I'm telling you, I don't think he did. I think he woke up. He's like, "Oh, I'm tagged. I'll retweet this here. I was on a show." Miroslav, you're found out. I didn't see a single tweet from you during the game.
You're a phony, Miroslav.
You're a phony. You didn't even watch the game. Absolute fraud.
Serbian corner is canceled.
Can I also tell you what else he did tonight? He predicted a Nuggets loss. He predicted tonight.
Oh my God, who would do something like that?
Well, Miroslav would.
Pathetic.
Shameful, Miroslav. Absolutely shameful.
Dobre Juto.
Well, Harrison, so are you guys concerned at all that we're waiting on Jokic an hour and a half after the game? Usually he does a workout, but he might have fallen asleep.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Wow.
Don't wake him at this point.
At this point,
just let him have it.
Let him sleep until tip-off.
I've seen the commercial. Bring him a pillow. Bring him a,
Yeah. We'll keep going here. Dev, what are you looking for in Game 6? How can Denver win Game 6? What has to happen?
They have to have a game plan that has nothing to do with Portland. They have to stick to what they want. They have to come in with their idea of, this is what we've been doing well every single game. We're not waiting to see how they're going to react to this. We have the best player in the series. We're going to ride him until the wheels fall off, and hopefully they don't.
They're not going to fall off.
So just go through them. That's the thing that I love, the fact that they're going through Jokic every single possession, because that's smart basketball. It's the right basketball, and he does so many things that makes other people play well. Monte Morris can't go on another team and put up 28 points. He's a really good point guard, but you have to have a guy that's willing to put you in situations to shoot and encourage you. Jokic should score 40. He could probably average 40, but he plays the right way, and he wants to make sure that everyone else is involved. And then also they got Michael Porter Jr. going by design. We want you to be the one that goes through him. So what I'm looking forward to is for the Nuggets to say, this is what we have. We're not changing any idea. Let's see how you respond back with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, they just need to foul out Nurkic. Simple. You just
it
don't.
Really is true. You're almost saying this cavalier, but
no, I'm not. I'm not saying. I mean, I am, but I'm saying it. I'm saying it because Nurkic is unable to help himself. They just need to go at Yusuf Nurkic.
Well, Nurkic can't guard Jokic without fouling, and it's really hard to not foul a player you're disadvantaged against. I mean, this is true of a lot of great players. Like Damian Lillard tonight drew an enormous amount of fouls.
Dude, if they foul out Nurkic, it is. I mean, they are so exposed. They have no chance.
Dame has to go for 55 without Nurkic on the court for them to only lose by a couple.
Yeah, I mean
60, and then he would have won.
The Nuggets won by 7. So
It was double overtime.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like that.
You're
shows
right. They
you
were
what
up
happens.
big in both
That
overtimes.
shows you what like the Nuggets. The Nuggets won this game more times than once. They really did. They just were.
Actually, you know what? The series
they-
should be over. They won 3 times tonight.
Man.
But they were resurrected by Dame's just absolute superhero efforts. The team didn't figure something out. Like Nurkic left them in the lurch, like he has done in the 3 biggest games that they needed. And if he goes out, like Cantor has nothing for Jokic.
And it's not if, it's when.
Yeah,
it's
and
when.
Melo has nothing for Jokic. Covington has nothing for Jokic, and it's just like every time down you just brace. You're like, oh man, don't hit a 3, Dame. But even if he does, on the other side the Nuggets are going to respond. Like Jokic is going to score. Like he's going to score.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think has to happen, Eric?
What?
What do you think has to happen in Game 6?
The Nurkic fouls out.
That was yours. What do
Yeah.
you think has to happen?
I don't want to draw a referee that I know by name, but that's just me.
Just
being
avoid him?
Yeah, just the Tony brothers. If we don't see either of the
Well,
Tony
we won't
brothers,
see Tony Brothers again. They won't give Tony Brothers 2 games in this series.
okay, but have we avoided the Scott Foster bullet? I feel like that's coming.
Scott Foster bullet is definitely real. That one's the
That one's
scary
coming.
one.
No, it's gonna be tough. I mean, on the road against a team that's desperate, teams that are desperate, they're gonna have more in their tank. But for me, I just want to see. I want to see Jokic. I want to see him
maybe not.
rest. If Jokic has some real energy to him, I know it's tough because he's playing so damn hard this whole season. But I'd like to see triple double for once. I think he's getting close to it. Obviously, it helped to have 2 extra.
we don't
periods
need
this
it
time.
though. Like we don't.
You're right.
Need it
But
to get the dub. We don't need a triple double.
You guys are dancing around what I think is the big one here. You need Mike. I mean,
Yeah.
look, tonight, Mike. Yeah, Michael Porter tonight got over. I mean, I think he got over a little bit of a mental hump, and now it's TBD. Let's see if this is who the new Michael Porter is. Doesn't mean he has to go 10 of 13 or whatever from the field. What's that?
Dev just noticed it's 11:30, and every second that goes by, Dev feels the weight of 1,000 kingdoms.
Yoke really screwed up. Apparently, he's talking right now. So Harrison Wynn should be joining us within the
Vogt,
next 5
Vogt.
minutes.
Vote tap Dev out. Dev's got to go home.
I'm going home.
Oh, that's effed up. But yeah, so I think it's just Michael Porter, and I'm so curious to see what his encore is. Monte Morris is going to be an interesting wrinkle, but Denver's defensive intensity tonight was much better. I think it's going to have to be even more. Kelly, you can stop sending me the tie. I appreciate it, but it's just like we're just got to wait till Harrison joins us. He's like, let me know that it's like, hey man, we're over an hour. Like, yeah, but I got to hear what Jokic had to say after.
I want to hear it, dude.
I got to hear what Michael Porter had to say after this game.
Yeah.
All those things, but you get 2 chances here to do this one. We get 2 chances, and I do take a little bit of solace in the fact that Denver was up 22 points in this game.
Yep.
Before an utter collapse. So if you look at it, Damian Lillard goes for 55 points, and the Portland Trailblazers go in a 30-11 extended run that happened in a 6-minute period. Like they had 2 heroic things happen in one game to make this a game.
It was too. And they lost by 7.
Again, but it was double overtime. So
All the same.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the 7 is a pretty healthy margin for a
Yeah.
basketball game.
Are we looking at any of the other series? What series really intrigues you the most, Dev?
Well, I love that Atlanta Hawks Knicks series.
Oh, I love it.
That
That's ending tomorrow.
Man,
That one's coming to a close.
That's why I keep talking about it in the past. It was so good, so fun. Like really, I loved it from first off. We already know Derrick Rose. That was amazing. But Trae Young is he's incredible. Like he really is. He's fun. That team is fun. Like everything about that is just good basketball. It's entertaining from start to finish. It's close. Every game seems to be really close. That's the one that's intrigued me the most out of everyone. I'm definitely looking forward to the Brooklyn versus the
Philly?
Bucks.
The
I
Bucks?
have to see that. I just have to. But those two, the East seems to excite me more right now.
Yeah. Not really. Not me.
I mean, I really like watching Memphis because I think you maybe said this. That's early Denver.
It really is, man. They got a lot of Denver energy.
It's fun to watch a team rise in the same way that Denver has,
Yeah,
the right
totally.
way, not just getting a bunch of stars to, coalesce together in a big city and everybody's supposed to be impressed by it. It's just awesome to watch teams do it the right way and like makes you want to cheer for the NBA versus like throw it in the garbage.
What about you?
I mean, this is a shocker of shockers. I like watching Chris Paul play basketball. For me, that's a lot.
I do too.
I mean, and
He gets a lot of hate, and some of it's brought on by himself.
yeah, I think he gets a lot of residual hate because he played with James Harden for
No,
a time.
no, that's not it. That's definitely not
For
it.
me, at least.
Okay.
But I mean, I guess because that's who we'd be matched up against. I'm interested a lot in that series, but I think the Suns versus a Lakers team that is trying to find their form is interesting.
Yeah.
A Lakers team that on paper should take care of business, but guys like DeAndre Ayton kind of rising to the occasion is pretty cool. For me, I guess because of personal, because of what it means for the Nuggets, but also I think that's been a fun series to kind of keep an eye on for me. But yeah, you're right though. The Hawks are a super fun team to watch. Like something about Clint Capella's a guy that I've always really liked, and I always kind of enjoy watching him succeed. And I feel like he's on that team. He looks like he's having fun too. So for me, that's
what
good.
I don't like about Clint Capella?
There's a lot.
The blotch of blonde hair.
Yeah,
You like that?
No, I don't like that.
Oh.
But I
I was saying the hair.
and
now,
I was
we're
able
gonna
to
hate it.
I was able to trace it back. It's a European thing.
okay.
Clint Capella had it.
Schroeder used to have
Dennis Schroeder still
Yeah.
has it. Every now and again, you see it come in, and it's so weird. It's European.
Didn't Schroeder have 0 points tonight? I feel like I saw
I
something
don't know.
like that.
I can't wait to.
There was a meme where it was like, the handshaking meme, and it's like me, NBA player Dennis Schroeder, 0 points in a playoff game.
Here's the thing about LeBron. He's good, but can he carry a team when his second best player is not there? I don't know.
A lot of questions.
It's
We
tough
haven't
in the
seen it.
West.
Questions.
We haven't
We
seen
haven't
it.
seen it.
No one poked
some
him in the
players
eye so he
can.
could look at the middle of 3 baskets.
Some
So,
players. A little bit of slander. Well, damn, I can't. Jokic is talking now. He's been talking for like 15 minutes. This is amazing.
We better get some GD fire.
Guys, should we talk about M. Night Shyamalan a little bit more?
Oh,
Yeah,
I'd
dude.
love
Are
it.
you
Shyamalan
a
Signs.
Have you guys seen Signs? That was a good one.
Signs?
No, I gotta
Signs
say, I
is
gotta-
not a good movie.
Well, I haven't watched it since it came out, so I can't remember. Is it really that bad?
It's a terrible movie.
I remember when they show the alien.
Swing away.
Oh,
They're
you're
like,
right.
oh, thankfully we have water all over the house. The aliens are burned by water, and they came to
You're
a
right. This
planet
is a
that
dumb-
is
yeah.
80% water. Way to go, aliens.
Then when they
I mean,
show
that's
the
how you get
alien,
him in-
it's all like it looks
how they
like
get
the
him-
Grinch.
that's how they get him in War of the Worlds too.
No, they
yeah.
don't. It was
Chris?
disease.
It was like
the
some
coronavirus, essentially.
Oh, that's.
It's the coronavirus. They came down here and they got corona.
Are you telling me that Steven Spielberg preempted that?
Yes,
was just
I
ahead of
guess.
it that far?
Yeah, well,
Not
no,
that
it was,
many
it
good
was
alien
Orson
movies.
No, it
Welles,
was-
first
yeah.
and foremost.
I was going to say if anyone would know, it would be Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise definitely has
true,
the
that's
insider
true.
information on that.
Independence Day is a funny rewatch. You go back and watch that one because
Welcome to Earth.
they also beat the aliens by giving it a computer virus, which I find hilarious. Like this super advanced
I know.
civilization, but they're like
You know, it, like
computer-
meanwhile, at that point in time, like I had a Mac and I was trying to get a screensaver to work and I couldn't do it because it was for a PC.
Yeah.
But like we know the language of the alien computer.
Yeah.
We just
gave it a virus. They're like,
modify
damn it,
it.
pop-ups everywhere. We're gonna crash. Oh god. Ladies and gentlemen, great news. Harrison Wind is calling in
Oh,
as we
smokes.
speak, so we don't have to talk about Independence Day anymore. We can instead go live to the Ball Arena.
Yes, it is.
We can go live to Ball Arena and look at the man with the wind in his hair.
I'm so excited to see you,
Yeah,
Harrison.
Harrison, what the hell? We just stalled for like 45 minutes trying to wait for you. What the hell happened?
I don't know what happened. I'm assuming a post-game lift set because when you go for 38 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, 4 blocks, you just need to get a quick workout in after it.
Imagine Jokic's workout after this game. He's definitely lit barbells like 2 pounds. Just doing jumping jacks. He's like, I'm done, man. All right, man. What do you have to report from us? We are exhausted from that game.
I'm exhausted. I know you always start these things with asking me like what the tone is of Michael Malone and the players in the postgame. They were exhausted too. I think everybody is freaking exhausted after tonight.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
exhausted.
this was a ridiculous game, man. Just how it happened, Dame Lillard's performance, not fouling, not once but twice, maybe 3 times. It was just like freaking unbelievable. It was an unbelievable night.
It was an unbelievable night, man. We were talking about best Nuggets-Blazers matchups. This one will go up there. It really will. It might pass the Game 3-4 overtime game last year because Nuggets
certainly
won.
does, yes, because the Nuggets won.
Incredible. All right, take us into the locker room. Let's get through this. I'm curious. I'm really curious to hear.
So I think I'll actually start off with what I was most curious about from Michael Malone, not fouling Damian Lillard up 3 at the end of regulation, at the end of overtime. And he pretty much just said that he didn't want to foul Damian Lillard because Lillard's so savvy. He's got so much experience. He compared him to Chris Paul. He was worried about Lillard making the shot and converting a 4-point play. Malone said it's about my respect for Damian Lillard in those situations. That's why he chose not to foul.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe don't really agree, but okay. The way it worked out wasn't so great either, 55 points, but okay. All right, what else we got?
Yeah, it worked out in the end. On Michael Porter's bounce-back game, because that was obviously a big storyline tonight, him hitting that big 3 late. Malone said he's too talented to have 2 games back-to-back like that. It's his second year in the NBA. I think people often forget that. I just told him post-game how proud I was of him, and Porter responded by saying, "Coach, I got to do that every night."
Oh, I love it. So corny, but also so sweet.
You didn't happen to pass on that we earlier said that we were proud of him, did you, Harrison?
I did not. I'm proud of him also. I'm also proud of him.
Yeah, this was awesome, man. This was really awesome.
Malone also shouting out Monte Morris's night. I mean, a career high for Monte Morris, 28 points in what I felt like was a do-or-die playoff game. Just an unbelievable performance from Monte Morris. Malone said, "That's the Monte Morris I've come to love and respect." He was aggressive. He was confident. He was getting downhill. And something from tonight, guys, like how many different guys hit big shots? Monte Morris hit a big 3. Austin Rivers hit a big 3. Michael Porter hit a big 3. JaMychal Green hit a big 3. So many different guys hit big shots tonight.
We were talking about this, and if you go to the other side, Lillard hit all of them.
Yep.
I don't think anybody else had a single big shot.
Nope.
Robert Covington almost had a big dunk.
Almost, but didn't. Yeah, he actually came up small in that one.
It was very embarrassing.
Oh, man. Brendan left. He's gone.
Keep it going. Keep it going. What else we got?
So
5 minutes to go.
Let's get to Michael Porter's night. On what he was just most proud of from his team. He said, "We didn't hang our head when Dame was going crazy." He was asked about, like, who's been in his ears most, keeping him upbeat, keeping him in positive spirits after he's had a couple rough games. He said, "Paul Milsap is always in my ear." He says, "Paul's the guy who's telling me, like, I just got to be mean. I can't let a team or a game plan take me out of the game, like what happened in Game 4. And he was also asked about the mood of the locker room. Porter said, "We know the job's not over, not even close. Next game's going to even be more intense."
It's true, man.
If Game 6 is more intense than Game 5, like, I don't even know what's going to happen at the bar. If Game 6 is more intense than Game 5 just was.
Bar was exhausted too, man. I'm telling you, everybody that watched this game was absolutely exhausted.
Yeah. And then Porter on his big 3. He said, "Those are the moments you live for as a player." On going up against Lillard, that's where I want to be one day. One of those type of guys.
Man, that's a great quote. And a great shot. Did you know it was money the moment you saw him open?
Oh, of course. Of course, man. Like, come on.
Was that the loudest part of the night, that shot?
Yeah, I'd say. It was either that shot. I'm trying to remember if there was another 3 after that, because I'd even forgotten this. I felt like it was a game winner, but there was still like a minute and a half left to go.
Yeah.
So it was probably that, though.
Yeah. Okay, what else? What else we got?
So we heard from Monte as well tonight. He said, like, we expect that from Dame. He's a hell of a player. You got to give him his respect. He hit a lot of crazy shots, but they're really not that crazy for him. So just a lot of respect for Dame Lillard. And then on his personal year-to-year growth in the playoffs, I thought this was interesting because if you guys remember, Monte, his first time in the playoffs, he was terrible. Didn't make a 3. a little better last year, and this year he's come up big a lot. He said, I needed to go through it. I had nightmares about my first playoff experience, but I needed to go through it to make the impact I'm making now.
What did you call it? Playoff-itis or playoff debutitis? Everybody gets it?
Playoff debutitis, yeah. Everybody gets it. You just got to get through it.
Once you get it once, you never get it again. Yeah, it's like the chicken pox.
Yeah, exactly.
We should have.
It's one of your all-timers, Win.
Yeah. We should make some of our rookies like hang out together and like just get it.
Yeah, just get it. I think Porter, he recovered from it very quickly. You know, he had it. It didn't even last a full playoff. It was just a quick. Like got it for half a playoff. All right, what else? What else, Win?
The last thing from Monte, just kind of on what he knows about Porter that he knew he was going to bounce back. He said, look, like Mike watches a lot of film. He puts in a lot of work. And here's the biggest one. He didn't let Powell pick the game tonight.
Okay. That's great. That's honestly, that is a big part of it. Like Dwight Powell is an X factor in this game. Tonight, not so much, especially down the stretch.
Yeah. And, we'll get to Joker.
He made us wait all this time. We might as well. He better have like 5 fire quotes.
Goddamn quote.
Joker's best quote of the night. He was just asked about Damian Lillard's performance. And he was like, it was amazing. It was unbelievable. He was incredible. He made some tough shots. He put his team on his back, and he was just carrying them. We tried, but we need to do a better job to take the ball out of his hands, especially late in games. And then the kicker, he said, it was a pleasure to be on the court to witness that.
Man, the best.
He's a gentleman.
We stand a true gentleman. A true gentleman.
Yeah. The other interesting thing from Nikola tonight, on his pass to the Porter 3, I mean, just like an incredible pass. If you guys notice on the replay, he kind of like motioned for Aaron Gordon to cut. And Joker said like he saw the double coming, the double came, and he was just like, somebody, come on, anybody, cut. And then Aaron Gordon finally cut, and then he was able to throw the lob pass over the top.
Perfect
so just
pass.
like so symbolic of like Nikola Jokic, his game, his makeup, his mentality, and it was the biggest play of the night.
Yeah, for sure it was. Yeah. What else?
Let's see. What else do we have from Joker here? On the keys to Game 6, just to have more energy than them. They're going to have a ton of energy. We need to have the poise that we had today. We were in this same situation 2 years ago, which is really interesting. The Nuggets won Game 5 2 years ago.
The Wancho dance. You think I've forgotten the Wancho shimmy?
No.
That was the pinnacle of the season, honestly. Yeah. Peaked right there and then fell off.
Yeah, and then they dropped Game 6 in Portland, obviously, dropped Game 7 here, so they've been here before.
Yeah.
Dude, NBA TV tweets out a graphic, Dame doing Dame things. 55 points. Dame doing the most Dame thing of all, losing in the playoffs.
Oh, man, the slander. I can't believe it. He puts on the Portland flannel for this game.
Come at me, bros. You can't distinguish me from one of you. I'm the only one not holding a growler.
Wait a second. Is this a Portland fan that we had on in the series preview? Has he made an appearance
losing in the playoffs. Way to go. Dame time.
Wow. I can't believe this guy. All right, what else here, Harrison?
That's all I really got for the post game. Incredible night, though. Incredible atmosphere. The crowd was so loud. It got chippy a little bit. Did you guys see when Austin Rivers just like flung 10 water cups into Portland's bench right before
I heard about it. I
halftime?
didn't see it, but I heard about it. Yeah, what the heck?
It was after one of – actually, it wasn't even like Dame's 10th best shot of the night, but it was off a Dame like really deep three. And there were just a bunch of water cups up on the scorer's table. Austin Rivers just goes by, swipes them. They go right into Portland's assistant coaches. And then right before halftime, like Austin Rivers and a Portland assistant have to be separated. It was getting testy.
I love it, man. I love it.
I noticed a whole heck of a lot of Zach Collins looking like an 80s movie villain on the sideline.
He does look like a villain, man.
Dude, he would totally challenge you to a ski race to see who could keep the fraternity house.
I would beat him. I would definitely beat him. No. Yeah.
That's funny. Well, Wind, you're a hero. We look forward to having you back here in the lounge with us for Game 6 here at the bar. Man, Thursday night, it sure sets the stage. I'll tell you, this was probably the least full the bar has been for one of these games.
Yeah, but it was still quite full.
But it was still quite full. Still standing room for a lot of people. But Thursday night, man, that's going to be an all-timer, especially if Denver ends up getting the win. You're going to want to be here. Even if not, you're going to want to be in the company of other people that are feeling all the same things you are feeling. So, Win, get home safely. And everybody else, there are 1,400 people still watching this show. 14. We're 90 minutes into the show.
Our people.
I want you to know, all 1,400 of you people, real ones.
You know what?
Absolute real ones.
You know what hurts though, knowing that there's 1,400 people and not one of them is Vogt.
Not one of them is. You're absolutely right about that.
Checked out.
Well, if we're being honest, not a real one. So, everybody, don't forget, hit that like button on the way out. Don't forget to subscribe to the DNVR Nuggets podcast, because we don't just have the live shows, we also have other things. We're going to have that. And then become a DNVR member. You're having a good time. You want to keep those good times alive, don't you? You want to watch the videos behind the paywall that break down all the pet plays that are going on, the little subtle nuances. You want to read the grades. You want a free t-shirt that Eric designed himself.
Man. Come on, bros.
You want all that good stuff.
You. Don't make it weird.
And then most of all, you want to be part of a very elite fraternity that gets to hang out in the Discord, gets to talk to each other, and just the family here at DNVR. So thanks everybody for hanging with us. Hit that like button on the way out, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Let's go.